So Brad with ATC, and we wanted to do a little segment on Firefly. So you have a home screen. When you come into it, it's going to be lit up and you're going to have a home screen. The home screen is going to give you different options. We'll start over here on the right. This is going to give you your fresh water. It's going to give you your gray capacity. So currently right now we have 67% water. And by the way, we have a 200-gallon water capacity in this. And so we've been in the desert 4 nights. And we're still at 67%. It not only has a huge gray water capacity of 90 gallons, it also has an enormous water capacity of 200. This is telling us that we're at 67%, 33%, and then the toilet 33%. And then we get in over to our fuel station and then our generator. So we have 2 separate tanks on the 4319. The generator has a 40-gallon tank, and the fuel station is also 40 gallons. So you have 80 gallons of fuel on board, and this is just displaying what you have. Okay, so we talked about we could turn our water pump on and off here. We can turn our gas water heater. We have that in another segment if you have the tankless or on-demand water heater. And then we also have a feature of tank heaters. So when you hit this, we have heaters on all the tanks. So your black, your gray, and your fresh, and also your fresh line has a heat wrap on it. So when you operate this button, that's going to turn on all. So in case you're in sub-freezing temperatures, you can flip that on. Generator on and off. Also, it's going to display your generator hours. We get over to the percentage of battery. So you kind of see a red here. We have all the lights on in the coach currently. It's telling us it's a 7 amp draw. If I'm reading that right, maybe an 8 amp draw. So it's going to show you if it's a draw, it's going to show you in red. If it's a plus, meaning the solar, we have 800 watt solar on this. If it's plusing, it's going to be green. But this is telling you that it's 99% on the battery. And this particular package is what we call the 3000 package. It has a 3000 watt inverter. It has 800 watts of solar. It has a 60 watt solar controller, and it has 540 amp batteries in it. So it's huge. You're not having to run the generator as often as you normally would on our competitor's coach. Here, also on this home screen, it's going to tell us our temperature in the bedroom. So it's telling us the bedroom's 81, it's saying the kitchen's 79, and the garage is 84. It's fluctuating because there's different temperatures going throughout. On and off. This is what's really nice about the lights. You can just come in, you can have all your lights on, and I'll show you that screen in a minute. But just for quick, easy, you just came in the coach and you want to turn your lights on, you can just hit on and everything will illuminate, which is really a nice feature. So we'll go to the light. That's the next, it's 2 from the top, the icon. We can select which lights we want on and off. And if we select each light and we turn them all on, when we hit master off, it'll turn them all off. If we hit on, it'll turn them all on. We can select which ones we want on and what we don't want on. They're all labeled: hall, bedroom, garage, under loft. Okay, so under here, we also have dimming features. So each one of these lights can be dimmed. And how you do that is you hold it. And if you hold it, it'll dim it down. And if you push it again, it'll go up. And you can notate how it's getting dimmer. And if you just keep the camera there, I'll show you. That's bright. We hold it again, it'll dim it for the mood light. And then we can hit it again, and it'll go full bright. So that's all on your light feature here. We also have an exterior, and it's on kind of a separate. I love this feature because you can hit exterior master, and it'll turn all your exterior light on. That's your awning, that's your loading deck in the back, and then we have the scene lights, the 2 scene lights on the awning side. So if you hit on, you can select which one you want. Do you want them all on at one time, or do you want them all off, or do you want certain ones? And this is where you do the selection, what you want. I like turning them all on at one time, and then I just hit the off, and then I hit the on, so they all come on or they all go off. So that's the lighting feature. We go into the lightning bolt. The lightning bolt gives us a lot of information on our inverter, on our battery, on our charge status, and then we get into all this different. It tells us our power source. Right now we have the inverter on. So the inverter, it's the 3000 watt inverter. So every plug in the house is wired to this inverter. We can actually run our air conditioning, we can run all our TVs and all of our plugs, microwave, and all that while our inverter's on. So we can hit the inverter, we could push inverter, and it's going to say disabled, and that'll turn our inverter on. And then to turn the inverter on, you just push it again. There's a delay. You'll hear the beeping, it'll say disabled, and in a second or two, it'll say enabled. It takes it a minute because the computer has to say it's on. And then you'll start seeing, this is all a flow chart. It'll tell you from the batteries, it's flowing to the inverter, and from the inverter to the breaker box. So if you can see those arrows, it's telling you where it's all going and flowing to the power. If we turn this off, those arrows are going to disappear. Now we're only on battery. So we're 100% 12 volt. So that's what that feature is. You get into all these different screens. We can get really detailed. This is an auto start for the generator. So the auto start, we can have it to where we want it to turn on at a certain time, or we can have it turn on if the battery drops to a certain level. So we have all that different capabilities, and that's done in this screen here, and what they call the AGS. It's auto gen start is what it stands for. So we go back to temperature. This is our temperature screen. Again, if you get lost, you can always go to home. It's kind of like your iPhone button or the Android. You just go home. And then here is just, what are you wanting to do? You're wanting to know about charge, you're wanting to know lights, you're wanting to know temperature, or you're wanting to operate a slide or an awning. That's the slide. And then there's, of course, you can get really detailed, and this is going to be your setting. There is a mobile app available. So with the Firefly, you can mobile app this to your phone. And how you'd do that is you'd go to settings button, you'd go to map, take a picture of this code, and it'll automatically go to the website. It'll tell you this is actually your unit, and that's your pin. You put that pin in, and now you're able to operate all these features that we're showing you. Your lights, your slides, your temperature settings can all be operated from your phone, through the app, through the phone. So I can get into a whole nother segment on that. I'll just kind of brief through, just know that that's available to you. For right now, we'll just focus on this particular Firefly. Let's go to temperatures. So this is pretty easy. It's a temperature, it looks like a thermometer. You go here, we have 3 air conditioners, they're 15 Ks. So we have one in the bedroom, one in the kitchen area, and one in the garage area. We have 2 heaters. So we have a dedicated heater in the garage area, and then we also have a heater 35,000 BTU for the rest of the coach. So that's where you would operate this. If you wanted cool, if you wanted furnace, the furnace is actually still on. I selected it for night. This is how you dial it in. I have it at 52 degrees. Believe it or not, it's nice when you're in covers. That's a good temperature. It's just, I just have it on, left on. If it's red, it's on. If it's gray, it's off. So if I wanted to put the furnace on, if it drops below 51, it's just going to turn on. Currently, it's telling me it's 84. We have everything kind of closed up back there, and it's building the heat, and it's kind of a hot day out here at the desert. So that's where we are there. That's this screen here. You have all these different selections. If you wanted to, it's telling you it's the bedroom, it's the kitchen, it's the garage. It's lit up red because it's telling you the garage has something. If we did the air, it's going to show blue. Red meaning furnace, blue meaning AC. So that's what that feature is. Let's go to our slide. That's right below the temperature gauge. It's our slides. This is where we're going to operate. This particular, the 4319, has a bed slide in the bedroom. It also has a kitchen slide, and we have an awning. This is also where you're going to do your auto level and your bed lift. This one has a Happy Jack bed, also has a Happy Jack sofa feature. This is where we're going to operate this up and down. Bed slide, exterior, it's basically extend, retract awning, and then also the kitchen. If we wanted to do leveling, we would push the leveling. Now this is going to tell us our auto level, and this is where we would retract. So if we wanted to leave, we're currently level. We push the auto level button, and it auto leveled. I'm going to give you a whole nother segment on that particular part. But for now, this is where you get to it. Just kind of showing you how it operates. You're going to notice here on here, there's going to be low voltage, excessive slow, ignition on, engage parking brake. Some of this, obviously, is if you had a motorhome, because Firefly is installed in multiple products. For us, This would tell you if you had a low voltage. It would also tell you if you're on an excessive slope. But for operating purposes, I want to kind of do this one as a separate, because we have not only this one here, we have it underneath in the compartment bay, and we also have controls in the very front of the RV. So for that, we'll get into that another day, but just to let you know, that's how you would get to it. You'd hit leveling. You could push the auto level and it will completely auto level itself. This particular 4319 has a 6-point auto leveling system. To retract, you'd hit all retract, and the 4 in the rear would retract. The 2 in front would stay down until you operated it from outside, depending on if your truck's underneath it or not. So hopefully that kind of helps you, walk you through the Firefly. We can get more in depth for the people that are really wanting to get down into it. I can get you into setting modes and show you how to do away with alarms if an alarm came up, but we can do that on another segment. Hope that helps you guys out.